It's the most anticipated futures prop firm launch of the year. It's the one everyone is talking about, the Futures Desk. And today I sit down with Josh, the CEO of the Futures Desk, get all the details of what I expect will be a disruptor in the industry starting now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mighty Ox Trading. Today, we are going to be talking with Josh, CEO of the hottest new firm in the futures prop space, the Trading Desk, and talking about why we need the trading desk in this industry and what the mission is for the company. So, without further ado, welcome, Josh. How you doing?
Hey Brian, how's it going?
Going very well. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking the time out. I know you've had a very busy week, ready for the launch. How's everything going so far?
Everything's going really well. We're just wrapping up some last minute bug fixes and features, and we should be rolling out the door pretty soon.
Good, because I know everyone's chomping at the bit, waiting, and they keep bugging me for when invite, when invite. Uh, so, before we get started in the details of the trading desk, I'd like to find some details out about you, so the my audience can know you better and your background, and how you decided to get in on the futures prop space, this crazy world we are all in.
So I've spent the last 25 years or so developing, designing, and deploying pretty large software systems from scratch at federal, state, and local governments, as well as Fortune 500 companies. My biggest takeaway from all that is myself and a team usually go in, we determine all the problem spaces where people are performing inefficiently, and we try to build some software around it. We don't want to force them to do something entirely different. We just try to build process around their day-to-day operation and make it better and give them data where they need it so they can improve. Um, 5 years ago or so, I got into the trading space, which led me into the future space, and I got really interested in the fact that nobody is really solving that problem. There's tools that there's great platforms out there, there's great trading tools, but no one's really digging down to build process around the work that traders really should be doing to be able to reflect on the decisions they're making on and how to guide those decisions into better trading.
Makes sense. So you're looking to help solve problems while also being able to provide funding so people can be not having to risk their own capital to while they're working to solve those problems. Is what it sounds like you're saying. Would that
Yeah,
be correct?
absolutely. Yep. And the way we're trying to structure what we're doing is it's going to force our hand, not just our values, but it's going to force the business structure to be um, very interested in keeping traders performing better and better because we're making sure that our bottom line is very much affected by what traders can do in our brokerage accounts that they manage.
That sounds great. So before we get into the whole meat of the futures desk and how it's going to work and all the bells and whistles, I want to commend you on coming up with a unique name. The futures desk doesn't use the word funded, funding, trader, or trading, or any of that stuff that we see everywhere else. How long did it take to come up with the name? What was the process there?
I mean, like anyone else, we went around, we used ChatGPT, we used some of these resources to come up with names, but we just kept simplifying, and we were kind of shocked that nobody had used the name yet. And it was pretty obvious when we found it. We realized it's going to be the name that sticks out and represents that we are really a futures desk, and that's our main product for trading. And it's definitely I'm glad it resonated with you.
Yeah, I think it's
That was the
resonating
hope.
with a lot. I mean, I know we're constantly tired of, we make fun of the fact that we see so many of the same names just twisted around somewhere differently. So I think it really helps you stand out because I know you plan on being a different kind of firm, and I think having a different kind of name helps that stand out as well. So this year we have seen approximately 33,157 new futures firms enter the space. While that may be an exaggeration, we have seen at least triple, maybe quadruple in size. So my question to you is, what about the futures desk makes you unique that it's going to be an addition to the space that is needed versus just another cookie cutter copycat that we're constantly seeing in the space at this point?
So I think a lot of the copycats that are coming around are just doing it out of necessity. They haven't had maybe the background I have, trying to think outside the box, trying to possibly come up with new solutions to existing problems. They're able to shift around some of the rules to get people excited, but they're not. All they're doing is putting the risk into a different spot, rebranding it, and maybe charging more. Um, we took every chance we could here, every little step of the way, and I think it shows. Our quality really shows through when you see what we built. If you watch the video on what we built, when you get access and you use the system, we obsessed over every detail, and we took every single opportunity to think, would a trader want this? Would a trader want this? Yes, we're traders, but before that, we're focused on process and improving other traders. We're not just falling into this. Hoping to make a bunch of money from people signing up for things because everyone feels like this is just some sort of gold rush to set up companies like this. We're really taking the opportunity to think day by day, what would I want as a trader? And then using our expertise, building that exact thing.
Excellent. And I know you keep talking about your team. Of course, this isn't just you. This has been a team of people from the very start. This has been in motion now for a few months. Do you want to talk a little bit about your team? Because I know you not only have people behind the scenes building, but you have people ready to help traders right off the bat. You have a quant, you have a coach or two, correct?
Yes. Yep. We have a coach, a couple coaches, myself, I'm a coach. We have a quant and he's great. He can help especially at the brokerage stage, he's able to analyze setups or strategies and turn that into something that we can back test and do a deep dive on the analytics. And that's where he excels greatly. My main partner Brian, he was in law enforcement out in California. He ran major crimes as a detective for a dozen years, and he was also the president of his union. So between the two of us, we feel like we have a really good yin and yang of extremely good. He's extremely good at operational. He's a trader. He has those things pushing him forward. And then myself, I overlap heavily with that, but I also, uh, I can design and build these systems. And together, we've really, really, again, he was out there trying to protect people. And in a lot of cases, you can look at the prop space right now is people sort of need protection, and they need to feel like there's trust here and honesty, and you have people that it doesn't just feel like a fly by night, copy and paste website. So I think between that and then our other team members are amazing at customer support, are amazing at putting in the effort and respecting the traders. We understand this is a hard process. Every single team member understands how hard this is, and we're always wanting to give everything we can back to the trader to make sure that their experience with us is the best.
Well, I just want to say that I've known about this project from pretty early on, and getting to talk to the team as it was being built and the visions that everybody had. I could personally see the passion everybody had for the project. It wasn't just about putting out another prop firm. I could see the passion they had about helping traders, finding solutions, and making this what it's become, and what I'm seeing as the final or almost final project. So I just want to I want to point out that it was obvious from the start how passionate the entire team, not just you, but everyone I've met and that's been part of it, has been toward this project.
I really appreciate that. I'll let the team know. They'll love that too.
Now, as you talked about, you obviously you built a tech and everything in the back end. You besides the actual trading platforms themselves, you've you and your programming team have built from scratch, correct?
Yeah. There's a big missing gap between what the platform, in the sense of the trading platform, the charts, the DOM, what that provides you, and the process around trading, which everyone, there's a million and one YouTube videos where everyone's like, you got to have process, you have to have psychology, you have to have these things. And they say, get a journal, write it down. And I understand writing things down is great for people. But I think when people hear the word journal, they immediately only think about, show me some charts. And while we do have an extensive amount of charts, and that's definitely part of the process, the active journaling while you're trading portion needs to be really harnessed, and you need to have some guidelines for how should I do this. And a lot of systems that you're working with aren't real time. Everything we're doing is real time. So as you're taking the trades, the journaling's popping up for that individual trade immediately. You can start writing notes on it. You can tag it with your setup, and we're trying to basically put the work in front of you, make it enjoyable to use. And then once you do the work, really show you why doing the work helps, because now every single trade you've taken hopefully is tagged with a setup and tagged with whatever other emotional tags that you want to associate. And you can take that and start digging into our stats again, all in real time. Which setup performs the best on what days, during what times do I FOMO into this type of setup? Maybe that FOMO is actually something that you want to dig into, that it's working when I FOMO. So maybe I just need to take a step back and think, how can I categorize what that energy is when I'm getting into the trade to turn it into a rule set to again improve the statistics on my results.
Sounds great. Do you think it's going to be a challenge to get traders to think differently in that way with getting all that information compared to a lot of traders have just gotten used to the way the rest of the industry goes about things of gambling and YOLOing and other methods that end up with such a high failure rate.
Yeah, so the goal here is to give everyone the tools in the easiest possible way, push them to use it. We're not going to force people to use it, but we think the people that do want to use it will have a big impact. If you don't, if you're not even tagging setups, you're still going to get really good statistics coming out of the system to improve what you're doing. You just won't be able to categorize the individual setups that you should be building in a playbook. Um, we can't, there's a lot of people with a lot of bad habits, and especially a lot of bad habits lately, because they're doing things that, one, probably you're not going to do live with too many accounts. And then just the ability to reset these accounts so quickly, and the ability to buy an account for $20, and it's really turning into some sort of like a 0 day option where people are buying an account to try to YOLO it really quick. And it makes sense. I mean, they're traders. They're trying to find an edge, and there's an edge to a lot of these sim firms that people are trying to take advantage of. And I think we're seeing what happens when more and more people are figuring that out. Those companies are pushing back on that. They're having to come up with new rules for payouts. They're going to have to come up with new guidelines that are quote unquote, to help the trader. But realistically, um, they're starting to be gamed more and more. So they're trying to push back on all that. With us, you know, the CME allows it, and it's not breaking any U.S. laws, then we're all for it. We're gonna support you. We're gonna get you with our quant, um, and we're gonna figure out what you're doing and how can we improve it and how do we increase your size, because that's what we're here for. That we're not interested in denying payouts. That's not even a thing with us. It's live capital coming from a live account. We're gonna be high fiving you when you make a lot of money. So again, not everybody makes a lot of money. It's super risky. It's extremely hard. But to get back to your point, um, we can push the trader, and we think we can make a decent difference in the percentage of traders that are seeing success. But there's always going to be a large portion of people that are going to ignore whatever we give them, no matter how good it is, and default back to just shooting from the hip and not doing any work and just thinking they can see the market, and that'll only get you so far. And the statistics usually play out on strategies that are like that, basically lack of strategy.
Makes sense. And one thing I wanted to comment on that you mentioned about, people that are, reset over and over again. You're actually putting a safeguard in, aren't you, with
Mhm.
allowing only one reset a day, and they can't even restart until the next trading day, correct?
Yeah. So the way that actually works is if you take any trade in a day, so you can't reset on that day. Resets off the limits. So we wanted to get around the little edge case where people would maybe just stop right before they failed their account, so they could reset it immediately. So that the whole thing is if you take a trade on a day and you're not going to reset that day, we're going to take all the emotions or the decision making out of that. I know a lot of people won't like that, which is unfortunate. They don't like that. But the people that do, I think they're hoping someone puts those limits on them.
Yeah, I think it shows that you're different in that way as well, because obviously, I mean, resets are pretty much 100% pure profit for a company. So those that they love those people that'll reset 10, 20, 30 times a day, and that's not helping the trader at all. That's just making a trader go broke basically, and you're not going for that money grab.
No, no. Which again, these kinds of things mean we're putting more and more effort. We're taking a serious step into that is not what we're going to become complicit about. We're not going to feel comfortable getting all these resets, getting all this money in, and not putting it back to the trader. Again, we know where our values stand now, but and I think a lot of these companies start with those values. They're really wanting to help the trader, but when they realize it's difficult to help the trader, they roll over and they see all this money coming in from the 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 tryouts, and they're just sticking with that. They're not they fall into that place. They're overwhelmed already with the support load, and live trading becomes a whole secondary thing, and it doesn't matter to the company. Um,
Is that where you feel the industry has gotten off track? Because if we go back like 5, 7 years ago, it was mostly based on moving people to a live account. And then as time went on, we've seen more and more almost 100% sim firms start taking over the space. So is that where you feel the industry's gotten off track? Is they just felt like this was too hard?
I think so. I think it's an opportunity. I think a lot of these companies do, you know, they're straightforward about what they're doing. This is up to you, and it's self-responsibility, and those things are great. But I think the lack of actual movement of trades in the live market shows that the whole thing's off track. Everyone's sort of being forced into putting traders into live markets, and they're still delaying it quite a long time. Which, to me, every second when a trader's um, working and earning, that I can't start putting them into a live account. We don't want to pay out of pocket. That's really what it comes down to. Like that feels like a failure to me if we're just sitting there keeping them out of pocket, keeping them out of pocket. It's like no, if once we can make the assessment just right, um, where there's a bar where we know it's someone we can work with, we know it's someone we can push. Now we're putting more on our shoulders to make sure that the traders see more success. And again, it's not black and white. We're not going to solve everyone's problem here, but I think we're going to give them the best opportunity in the space.
I think the big thing is there is the company, and the traders, the values are aligned, whereas a company that's keeping someone on sim forever or a long time, that's going against each other because they're costing the company more and more money in sim, so it starts being kind of a bad thing for the company. Whereas putting them on live, there's no conflict of interest, I guess is the best term there.
Yeah, conflict of interest is a good term. It's just I just can't reconcile that in my brain. And if we were stuck doing sim payouts forever, and right now we're doing none, um, it's just not a space I would want to be a part of. I would do something different. But the fact that I found people to work with, and we all agree with the same model of putting traders in live accounts, helping them out, not discouraging if they need to take a pace, if they need to trade slower in the sim. We keep our resets, or not our resets, our extensions as low as we can just to cover our infrastructure and support. If it takes you 4 months to pass, you should be paying that upfront cost every month. You should be able to take it slow and do the math on how much drawdown do you have, how much size should I use, and if it takes you 2, 3 months, that's okay. And I think a lot of people don't like hearing that, but that's how you're going to build the best habits. And we're expecting a lot of people to come to us who want rehab. You know, they've been stuck in a lot of these companies. They've learned a way to maybe try to game these companies, but they're not probably net profitable with the amount they're putting into the programs to what they're getting out. Even though a lot of these companies like to just show their payouts, it's not telling the whole story.
Makes a lot of sense. Trader rehab, I like that term. I think that's a great term there. I think after the last few years, and especially the last couple months, it's probably something a lot of people in this industry need, because a lot of people now not only need rehab physically, but maybe psychologically with things that have happened recently.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate thing with that company.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit some about the features and benefits of the futures desk. I think one of the more unique things that people are going to find at the futures desk is that you really don't have a normal model of eval where 25K account, 50K account, 100K account. You're allowing people to pick and choose and build their own account, which I don't think anybody else in this industry has done. Talk about the thought process of why you went that way, and you know, just go with what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just an example of us starting from scratch, getting rid of all the stuff that people are wary about, the things we didn't like about most of these systems. And, it's while it might be a notional value of 50K eventually, it's a strange way to present all these things because it's just another thing that kind of keeps you away from the trading. Like, what's this 50K plan like? And what's this 50 or this company's 50K plan? To us, it's look, you're going to start at a zero balance as you expect, and we just want you to reach those targets. Um, so doing that, giving everyone the flexibility of how many contracts do you need, how much drawdown do you want, do you want a static account? Are you okay with EOD because maybe you do heavier scalping, so you're not really having larger drawdowns. Um, giving the trader the flexibility to choose those things around their process, and then they can choose to compromise on price. If they don't need that many contracts, they can do that, and it helps us know um, what kind of trader you are earlier than later. You're not just another person signing up for a 50K account. We are trying to build relationships here with good traders. So how you pick your plan and how you trade your plan are something we're actually going to be watching.
It's a good point, and I think it would also help people with not oversizing, because people I think get stars in their eyes sometimes with like a 300K account, 35 contracts. Do you really need
Yeah.
35 contracts?
Yeah, we're not going up that high during the assessment. The sky's the limit once you're in the brokerage with us, but we really are trying to see that you have the right contract limit compared to your drawdown. There are certain markets like bonds, things like that. So we do have the flexibility of going up to, I believe, 12 right now. Um, but we're not going to try to overemphasize how much we think you should be trading. We do know that people have their own edge, and we want to. That's what we're bringing you in for. That's what proprietary trading is all about. We're trying to find good traders to manage our capital. That's the point here. So we're not going to try to change how you trade if you're doing well. So we do want to give you that space. But between that and then you can choose the amount of days you're willing to give us to show us the data. We can use that information to figure out your path with us after that.
You said one magic word in that paragraph there, and that was bonds. Of course, we've seen the great bond apocalypse a couple months ago. Obviously, this means I assume that the futures desk will allow bond traders to be bond traders.
Yes, we will. And I know there's been a lot of different things that have come out in the space where they're saying that there might be some ways to get around some of the limitations of a live account and perform well in the sim. We're not really gonna worry too much about that. We're gonna keep an eye on it, and as those people come through, if we need to make an adjustment, it'll be small. and it would probably not affect the bonds traders at all. One of the examples we have would be if you had a max favorable excursion of at least 2 ticks in your trades. Again, you wouldn't have to fill 2 ticks in your favor. You still could come back for the 1 tick fill. As long as you're doing that, then that could be a way we deal with maybe some of the advantages you get in the sim. But again, we're going to be very hands-on. You don't have to call us, but we might call you, um, and we might just chat about what's going on and trying to improve it. And if there's an issue, we'll deal with it at that point. But we're not concerned because I don't think there's any need for a blanket ban on those products.
There's going to be a lot of bond traders very happy to hear that. And another thing we have seen kind of more firms becoming more hard on is algos and VPS and those type of things. Also because some of the stuff we've been hearing about sim firms. But Futures Desk is going to be allowing all that, and from what I even understand, they'll even help you. You guys will even help improve the algos.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a miss if you're not taking algos into trading going forward in some fashion. Maybe not fully automated, but definitely semi-automated to help you with execution. I mean, this is what the big guys are doing. It would be silly if we expected retail traders not to follow suit, and we want to get there early. So between that and then again working with our quant team, trying to improve that because they're very good at that. I think we can make some big impacts there. And when it comes to like VPSs, as long as we can verify you're the trader and you're the one managing this, um, we'll work with you on anything like that. Just let us know ahead of time that we should expect some unusual activity from where you're trading from.
Makes sense. Good communication back and forth is, another good part of a being on both the same side instead of being having that conflict of interest. You're not looking for reasons to just wonder why a good trader is doing well.
Yeah, no, no, we're happy.
Yeah,
We'll try to support that or move it into a space that will work better live. That's what we are. We're in some sense we're a big R&D shop trying to find really interesting strategies. The market's changing and it's moving fast, so you got to jump on for the ride and you got to experiment. And part of bringing all these prop traders on board is so we can all experiment with other like-minded people.
sounds good. So let's talk about one thing that some traders might balk at about the futures desk, and that's the profit split. The profit split is for at least the start, and then at another point, a little bit lower than what most people are used to. Can you talk about that, and then talk about the advantages of the K1 form and how that will help traders out?
hmm So everyone's still based on it's all still based on performance from the trader. But when you reach a certain amount of funds, which right now our mark is $10,000, you stop trading for the company that is the futures desk, and you move over to our funded company that we put you on as a partner. So we put you on as a K1 partner. We're not pulling any money from you. It's nothing like that. It's still us. We're just we're taking that opportunity to give you tax benefits. Again, your mileage will vary based on where you are. This only makes sense for U.S. Citizens, but the advantages of a K1 relationship as well as um, there's a 60/40 tax rule. I don't have the citing for you, but I'm sure Brian could put there for you. But and again, I'm not an accountant. Talk to an accountant, but uh, you can treat 60% of your profits earned with futures trading as long-term capital gains tax. So even though we have a 75%, 25% split um, to your pocket for most people, um, between that and having seats leased on the exchange to reduce execution costs at the CME, uh, you're looking at the 90 to 100% range for what makes it to your pocket as a relative to getting paid purely as a contractor without any of those benefits. So because we're in live markets, because you're receiving those profits through a partnership, it's a pretty nice advantage, and I think it just shows that What we're trying to do is just take care of the traders and make it something that we'd want to use.
Absolutely. And I'm assuming it takes some a lot of work setting that up, considering there's only one other firm I'm aware of that offers that K1 benefit at this point. Even other live firms don't offer it. So I'm assuming that took you could have just brushed all that off and not bothered with it, but it was something you wanted to do for the traders.
Yep. Yep. We knew others were doing it, so we found a way, and we found the right way. So we worked with an accounting team in New York that's got some SEC lawyers on staff, and they figured out the plan and how that'll work from a day-to-day basis, and we're really excited. So we're really excited to extend that to our traders. And again, the 75%, 25% split, just to make the final point, that 25% keeps us extremely interested in the profits. It's if you have 90%, 10% split, which is awkward anyways because it's in a sim account when they pay you that way. But 90% split, 100% split, I think it's pretty clear that you know how much the company cares about you making money in live markets. Again, values aside, the people might love seeing their traders succeed and get paid out, but the company structure, the company's not doing well because of that. They're clearly not doing. Um, they're making their profits and their revenue from the obvious. So
Makes sense. What other features and benefits of the futures desk, if any, haven't I touched on that you would like to talk about?
I think the biggest thing is, we can talk about like the structure, and I think that's all great. And then the biggest thing is we're just investing super heavily in tech, and that's not just with quantitative development. It's also the process that I mentioned before. It's extremely easy to use in real time, and the reporting we can get out of it. We've already started using it in that manner. We're internally using it to trade. Um, we're getting a lot of benefit out of. We're seeing the benefit. It's obvious, and I hope your viewers watch our some of our launch videos because I think those videos speak louder than my words right now.
I will link those videos down in the video description below so people can check those out if they haven't already. Um, so I'm curious because we've had a long summer. It feels like this summer has lasted 4 years in the futures prop space. With everything that's gone on this summer, we've heard about CME regulations coming, and we know about the rise and fall of certain firms and all that. As you were building this, has anything occurred over the summer that changed the trajectory of anything with the firm, any decisions you made building the futures desk?
No, I don't think it had to. Again, uh, there's no facts that have come out about regulatory. There's only rumors, and what those people choose to do in their conference room, we'll find out. But I think just aligning as much as possible with the ideals and the way a traditional prop firm runs, I don't think we're going to have a problem. I'm not worried about navigating that. It didn't even occur to us because every decision we're making is not trying to screw people, to be honest. Every decision we're making is just how do we get people into a live market and trade. So I think CME's can be happy with all of our professional data fees. I think they're going to be happy that we're providing liquidity, and um, you know, if something comes up, we'll navigate it. But I think we're going to be as close as possible across what this landscape looks like to making it easy for us to navigate.
Over the summer, we saw the rise of direct to funded. I mean, I know the answer to this already, but I'll let you say it. Direct to funded is pretty much not on the radar of the futures desk, I would assume.
It's not something that we're thinking about doing at all. Again, we so ours isn't necessarily direct to funded, but when you pass the assessment with us, depending on how much data we have, there's two routes. Both routes have the same guidelines, the same rules, but one way is we don't have enough information. So the buffer that you build with us, which will be the same as your drawdown, um, you either do it in a sim account. Again, no payouts in it, but you do that little small portion in a sim account because we think that maybe again, don't, if you do go this route, just know that it's the most common route. It's not that you're a bad trader necessarily. We just might not have the data to determine where you should go yet. Some traders might be willing to give us way more days of trading, and that'll help a lot with us putting you directly into an account after you pass. But that's a way for our company to mitigate the risk. The better we can get at predicting what will happen next. Two things can happen. One is we're going to be able to give you insights on your trading. If we're able to predict that you're going to struggle going into a brokerage account, that's going to be data we're going to give back to you as well along the way. But if you follow the course and you're not hitting, the safety stop of a daily loss limit, you're keeping low drawdowns on your trading. Again, lots of varied trading. So I understand people want to have big drawdowns to make bigger wins, and that's okay. But based on those statistics, we're either going to put you directly into a brokerage account because we think you'll be able to build the buffer safely, which obviously mitigates risk for us substantially if you do it. And then the other option is you build the buffer account, and then we place those funds that you built virtually in a buffer account into the brokerage. But regardless of which way we decide when you pass, it's very close to the same experience for traders. It's not
Makes
like 5, 6 payouts of 10 days trading and no flipping and all that garbage. It's literally just it's just same guidelines. It's as if you were going to a brokerage account, except for it's not actually a brokerage account yet. Hit the buffer, your payouts get enabled. It's we think it's the best way to do it and still be responsible and not just be dropping people into brokerage accounts with the smallest amount of data. But again, if you choose to go that route and you can pass that quickly, you're still in the same path. We're not going to deny you brokerage. We're not going to deny you for flipping. There's nothing like that. We structured the program where we really just don't have to worry about people trying to game the system. It's not something we're too concerned about. If they're getting to the brokerage account and they keep failing the brokerage account, we're going to have a discussion with you and try to work with you. If you're not willing to work with us, we probably won't allow you to keep going in through the assessment. So it gives us a lot of confidence and it gives us a lot of stability as a company. So
People have gotten so used to wanting and trading multiple accounts with a copier. What is the futures desk's position on that?
we don't have a problem with it. If you're trading other accounts and other sim companies and those kinds of things, go ahead. You know, Honestly, a lot of these companies are basically, trying to challenge you to get their money. And go ahead. If you see an edge there and you want to use those programs on the side, do it. Just do it understanding the risk involved. Do it understanding all the secret rules they have. But we're hoping people come to us and treat ours as, okay, this is the one I really want to pay attention to and give it the most effort. And then why not throw up some copy traders and copy it amongst other companies that allow it, of course. Um,
Right.
but for us, it's two max accounts to start with. And again, you build a relationship with us and you're like, hey, can I split these funds into multiple accounts at the brokerage? This works really well for me, then we'll do that. It's not a problem. We're super flexible. Um, we're very progressive in the way that we're going to work with the traders and try to support them.
That makes sense. It sounds like you're going to be the most trader friendly company all around, not just in how you treat the traders, but what the traders are able to do while they're trading with you. Not rules, I mean, rules wise, but also, just they don't have to worry about DCA. They don't have to worry about flipping. They don't have to worry about any of this other stuff that's become big tag words throughout the summer.
Yeah.
So um, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, so you're launching very soon, as when we're recording this video, launching with Project X. How soon after Project X will we see Rhythmic? And I know everyone's going to ask, so I'll ask: is Trade of Eight on the horizon?
So Rhythmic, we were going to launch with Rhythmic. We were almost done technically, but we decided let's get it out there. The beta testers are really excited about what we're doing. We think the platform is really going to help people, so we want to see people get help and start the program, start our revenue, really get the systems running, and not try to hold off for every possible feature. So Rhythmic, we are 75% done with. We're signed on with EdgeClear as a brokerage. They're great to work with. Um, we're very close there. We're going to be looping back around and putting the development effort into uh, the final integrations with Rhythmic, and you can expect everything to work the same. All the real time journaling, everything like that will work the same. So we're expecting 2 to 3 weeks. Again, I don't want to put a date on it because I don't want to, things happen.
You don't want to overpromise and underdeliver.
Yeah, right. And the other one you mentioned, they're they don't like people talking about if they are with them or we're not with them. So when the
Okay.
time comes, we'll make an announcement if we do.
Okay.
And but the big thing is, we're looking at platforms, we're looking at some services that everyone likes. I have a special place with Sierra Charts because that's the one I use. So if we can get Teton routing, we'll do that. I know it's a small audience, but I think my Sierra Charts guys are out there and they'll be happy. So yeah, we're trying to make it as accessible as possible, but the platform we've built that's integrated is kind of gives you the best experience with us. But we're no stranger to wanting to bring your own platform, the one you're comfortable with, the one that's got your indicators, your strategies, or whatever else. So, we're going to keep marching on that.
Again, that sounds again very trader friendly. Sounds like you're always looking out to do what's ever best for the trader, as long as it's you know not too challenging for the company that it causes issues. And I think that's what we need. I think more and more traders are going to be drawn to that as they're continuing to struggle with these other firms. So I think I've asked all the questions I can think of. Is there any other points you would like to make before we wrap this up?
No, I think that about covers it. So we are doing an invite-based system because we want to keep growth controlled. We don't want to give anybody a poor experience. And if you have any questions or issues at all, we want to make sure our support staff's always there to answer it immediately. We don't want to just sign everybody up and act like we're so excited we're getting all these traders in, and then it's not the experience that everyone expected. So we're going to be giving out invites. You're going to have invites of course, Hawks. We only have a few affiliates that we're going to have. All those are going to get invites. The beta testers are going to get a couple invites each. So it's going to be a natural organic growth. And we're hoping that uh, as we keep adding traders in and we want to do another round of invites, we'll have a really good grip on how many we should do and how aggressively we should do it. And then as well as existing traders getting more invites means those people can explain the program better to them. And hopefully they're picking traders that aren't just going to take the invite because they're looking to YOLO. They're going to be like, no, no, I think you'd be a really good fit for their program. I'm going to give it to this friend, the best trader friend I have. And we're hoping we get an increase in the quality of traders because of that. So it's sort of a two-sided thing. One, controlled growth. Two, increase the quality of the traders coming in.
I think that's an excellent plan. And when we've seen how many of the new programs end up having major growing pains within just the first month, yeah, doing this again shows you're not just out for money, like some of these firms seem to be, but also that that you're interested in making a long term growth, long term impact, and not just quick money grab. And I think that's great. So I think that's everything today. I hope this gives everybody a great view of the mission of the Futures Desk and how this could revolutionize the industry. I've been saying, and a couple other people have been saying that there was need for disruption in the industry, and I think the futures desk and the way it's going about it could be the disruption that's needed, especially at a critical time after everything we've seen over the past few months. So I'm hoping that people take advantage of that, and traders that want to be traders and profitable traders will see the value of what you're building, Josh. And I applaud
Really
you
appreciate
for
that, Brian.
I applaud you for building this and for doing this right, because I really believe the industry and especially the traders need this now.
Thank
So
you.
Thank you very much for your time today, Josh. I appreciate you being here. Guys, Josh hangs around. If you don't want to hang on the Futures Desk Discord, he hangs around my Discord. He's very nice. He usually asks questions, answers questions very quickly if he's available. So come say hi if he's in all that. And as like I said, I will have invites to the Futures Desk. I'm not sure how many or when, but I'll can beg for more if I have need more. But so I'll be handing those out once we launch. Hopefully that's soon. Anyway, I'm babbling. So I do want to thank you very much for your time today, Josh. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Hope everyone has a great rest of their day. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me.
All right, thanks, Brian.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.